Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today we're going to do a workout in your home where you only need a ball if you have one. If you don't have one, you can do it on the floor. A band or a tube and a small set of dumbbells. So that's all you're going to need for today. Make sure you come into these workouts warmed up and ready to go so you can go for a short walk around your neighborhood or, do all of your cardio before you come into these. If you want to wait and do like the majority of your cardio workout after these, that's fine, but do a little bit of a warm up, like I always recommend before you come into these workouts. Okay, so grab your tools that I just mentioned and come back ready to work. We're going to start with a bridge on the ball and doing a chest fly. So if you don't have a ball, just do a bridge on the floor like we've demonstrated in the past with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and then raising your hips. So you can do that bridge hold while you do these chest flies. Okay, so whenever you do a bridge hold on the ball, make sure your shoulders and your head are resting comfortably on top of the ball. You're squeezing your glutes to maintain that bridge. Your weight is in the heels of your feet. Okay. So we're going to start with this right over top and bring them out to the side. So these are chest flies. 1, 2. If you found that you grabbed too heavy of a weight, go ahead and stop and grab a lighter weight. These are usually a little bit harder, so you'll need a little bit lighter weight. If you're having any shoulder or elbow pain, you can bend your elbows. That will also make it easier if you don't have a smaller weight. Keep that bridge, squeezing those glutes, and keep breathing nice and slowly, both directions. Remember, if you ever have any pain with any of these, stop, and then you can send me a private message, and we can find another way for you to work these muscles without causing any pain. Okay, so that was chest flies with a bridge on the ball. Be careful setting your weights down so that you do it with a proper form and don't hurt your back. Okay, next we're going to do some side lunges. So I always recommend doing these maybe at your kitchen counter. It works really well. I do them at the bar in my gym. But what I want you to do is step out to the side, and you can start with small ones. We're going to bend this knee and squeeze your glute. This knee stays straight and come back to center. So then we're going to go over to the other side. The key here is sitting back. So you're moving your hips back like you're gonna maybe lunge over and sit down in a chair. So we want to make sure that your hips are going back, your knee is staying over your ankle, and you're not leaning way forward or way out to the side. I don't want your foot to roll over. I want that foot nice and stable, knee stays over your ankle. So we'll lean out to one side. You can start small. If you're hanging onto a kitchen countertop, like you can do this standing at the middle of your sink, move over, and so that you can sit back. It really helps with, your balance and being able to sit back. Now, if this is something that you're used to doing and you want to add a little weight, you can use a kettlebell maybe, and then switch hands here, or a dumbbell, or, even a water jug or something if you want to add a little extra weight. Weight is staying back in your heels this entire time. Remember, you can do a smaller range of motion. You can just kind of put your weight, bend your knee a little until you get more used to this and you feel like you're ready to add more range of motion and maybe more weight. We're going to do 2 more on each side. Keeping your chest tall. That's another thing that's a good reason to do this, like in a countertop or a bar or something, so you can hang on and really sit back. Okay, great. Now we are going to move back to your arms. I like to alternate so that we can keep moving through these exercises. So an upper body, a lower body, an upper body, some balance, some core. Okay, I've got my tube set up over here. We're going to do triceps extension. So put your tube on something high, or your band or whatever you're using. And the goal here is to keep your elbows in your sides and then press straight down. So we're working that muscle in the back of your arm that straightens your arm. 3. So I want you to just stagger your feet a little bit here. That helps protect your back if you tend to have any back issues. Not really a tandem stance. You can do a tandem stance if you want to add a little extra balance. Slowly both directions. When you come back up, notice that your elbows stay right in your sides. They're not coming forward each time. So we're isolating those triceps. Keep breathing. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. One more. All right, good. That was triceps extension. So that's the big muscle, small muscle, sorry, in the backs of your arm that straighten your arm and help you push things like that. Okay, now we're going to lower down to the floor and do a plank. So we're going to use your triceps a little bit more, but this is a great core exercise. So we've gone over this before, but you can do this in various stages. You can start by doing a plank against a countertop. Lower down to maybe holding onto a kitchen chair, pushed up against a wall. You could use a fitness bench, anything like that. But then when you're ready to lower down to the floor, I'm going to do it on my elbows today. Make sure that I'm in here. So you can start on your knees, or if you're ready to start by going up on your toes. We're going to try to hold this for 30 seconds. So make sure your shoulders are staying down away from your ears. You're staying nice and straight. You want a straight line from the top of your head down through your heels. If you really feel like this is getting really challenging and you just can't hold it another second, you could just give yourself a little break by putting one knee down. Good, we've got 10 more seconds. Keep breathing. Really work hard to hold it and release. Good. One good way to kind of relax from that one is to sit back in a child's pose and really stretch through those shoulders. Okay. Now we're going to stand up and do a balance exercise. Remember, when you stand up from a floor exercise, to be careful, make sure that you take your time, use proper form in your floor to stand, so you want your weight back and then you want to stand straight up. But take your time transitioning from the floor to standing. Okay, now we're going to do single leg stance swing throughs. So what I mean by that is I want you to stand on one foot if you're able. Bring one foot forward and then one foot back. So all you're doing is moving this foot forward and back. And you can keep your hands in the middle. I'm not changing where I am here. I'm not changing my torso. I'm not changing where my hips are or anything. I'm just moving my foot forward and back. So I don't want you to lean back and then lean forward. This all just stays stable. All you're doing is swinging this one through, and I'm not touching down at the front or the back. You can if you need to. You know, you can touch down here and then touch down here. That's going to be a little bit easier if you need that. Always do it next to something sturdy where you can hang on if you're going to need a little assistance. Now there's a couple different ways you could do this. You could slowly do it like 10 times each. You could work on it for 30 seconds. Really challenge yourself to stay on this foot. This is also a hip exercise. So this is a stabilizing hip exercise. This hip is working isometrically to hold you here. If you ever feel like you're doing this, stop, and really you can even put your hand there to kind of remind you not to let that hip kind of jut out to the side like that. Okay. And if you feel like it's pretty easy, you could do it a little bit longer. You could stand on a balance pad. You could stand on a balance disc. There's a lot of different ways you could make this a little more challenging. But this, you're just moving your leg forward and back. So not only are you getting the isometric contraction of the standing hip, you're getting a little hip flexion and then a hip extension here. So we're getting some exercising of your hip in addition to challenging your balance. Keep breathing, hold your chest high, shoulders down, and even if you're having to hang on to something a little bit, don't let your shoulders come up. We've got 5 more seconds. All right, good. Okay. And finally, we're going to lower back down to the ground. We're going to do donkey kicks. So, down to your hands and knees. This is another hip exercise. I got that a little bit low. Okay. So on your hands and knees, you want your hands directly beneath your shoulders, your knees directly beneath your hips, and you're going to pick one foot up. Maintaining that 90 degrees, you're just going to push up. So you're kind of slowly pulsing up. It's not a huge movement. I want your back to stay flat. So just here, not here. You know, you don't need to feel like you need to push it really high or anything. We're just really isolating your glutes here. Nice and slowly. Keep your foot flat and think about pushing the ceiling away from you. Like if you had to push up and you're maybe holding a cup on the bottom of your foot, or you're pushing the ceiling up away. Just kind of keeping that flat. All right, now we'll switch. Reposition if you need to, if you felt like you were tensing anywhere. Nice and slowly. It's a pretty small range of motion. You don't need a huge range of motion here in order to feel this. It really isolates those glutes, gives you a good hip stabilizing efforts here. Keep breathing. And 10, good. So you can also sit back in child's pose after that and really kind of give those glutes a good stretch. Okay, so now, like I always say, you can do these through 1 to 2 more times. You could add some cardio in between to make it move and keep you fresh and give you a really good full body workout and keeping your heart rate up while you're doing all of these exercises. Okay, please message me if you have any questions or you need anything explained further, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much.